Have you ever experienced a strong connection with someone that you barely know?
On today's show, we're going to be talking about why this happens and share with you some signs that you may have a strong spiritual connection with someone. Stay tuned.
Welcome, everybody, to the Manifestation Mindset Show, where we teach you the mindset of manifesting, overcoming emotional challenges, and breaking through limitations. We are your hosts. I'm Dr. Aaron Garcia.
And I'm Veronica Mendez, and we go live every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And we go live on YouTube and Facebook, and you can find us on the links below. If you feel that this show can benefit someone, please feel free to share it. And click on the bell icon so you can get reminded of when we go live.
Absolutely. And if you're tuning in with us live today, we would love to hear from you. You can ask your questions and put your comments here into the comment feed. Let us know where you're coming in from, where you're tuning in. Love to say hello to everybody that's watching, whether you've been watching us for a while or you're new to the show as well. And if you're watching on the replay, we'd love to hear from you. We'll get back to all your comments as the show goes on and also after. And so before we begin today's show, and like we do with all our shows, we always like to start off with a bit of inspiration with our inspirational moment with Veronica.
So inspirational moments is when I like to share something inspirational, sometimes a writing, sorry, sometimes some cards. And today I have some cards. I was trying to shuffle them. This one's from the Archangel Michael, and there's the book. I've shared this before.
There we go.
Very beautiful cards, and I love them because the pictures are so pretty, and then also I like the gold along the edge there. You can see it's shiny. All right, so I'm going to have Aaron pick a card.
Ooh, pick a card. I love picking cards. I'll have Dan McCluskey pick a card too, who's watching right now. Ooh. And it says, your children are watched over by angels. Ooh, I like that.
All right, so let's see what that one says. If you could show the picture while we look for it.
That's the card. Should I get Veronica's? There we go. There's the focus. A little light. There we go. Wait. A little bit. There it is. You get a little bit of glare and blur.
All right, so
you get the idea.
Archangel Michael wants you to know that he's paying particular attention to your children. He's guiding them to stay safe, develop their spiritual gifts, and discover and follow their divine life purpose. Michael is also ensuring that their peers are trustworthy and good influences. So possible meanings. Your life's purpose involves children. So for those of you who don't have children, a healthy pregnancy and birth is ensured. For those of you who are planning on having children. An adoption will be successful. Spend time with indigo and crystal children. Take care of your inner child by playing and having fun. I think that one is key. A child in heaven is happy and sending love. Your children are okay. Give worries about your children to God and the angels. And the prayer is, dear guardian angels of my children, born and unborn, thank you for watching over my children and ensuring their happiness and safety. Please guide me so that I know the best ways to be a good parent and role model for my own and other people's children. So it's not necessarily if you have kids or it could be for those who don't have kids, but it's maybe your life purpose is regarding or, involving children or...
Some people are teachers or they help out with, the less fortunate, kids with families that need food or shelter, all that stuff. So it can be anything involving children.
Yeah, because children, they're the next generation and they're going to be here. So.
All right.
But key is have fun.
Have fun. Always have fun and be like a kid and have fun. So we hope you guys enjoyed the inspirational moment for today. Let us know what your thoughts are about that. If that resonates with you, let us know here into the comment feed as well. All right. So today's topic was inspired by actually someone who's watching the show today, because we love to get your guys' feedback and things that you would like to hear about, what you'd like to know. If you have a question or concern about, I wonder how this happens, can you talk about more about this? So this is inspired by one of our viewers who's watching right now, Antonio, who want to know why we have strong connections with people. And there's just some people that we just connect with so well, and other people we don't. How does that happen? Why does that happen? So we wanted to talk about that today.
Yeah, and it kind of started, I think, because we were hanging out with Antonio and his wife and kids, and we were talking like all night till what, after 1 in the morning. Like it was like the time just went by so fast, and even my daughter mentioned that she felt like a strong connection with his wife and one of his sons, and she wasn't sure why. She just felt like really comfortable, like like she could talk to them so easy. And she usually has trouble talking to people. She can be a little shy, but this time she was just talking and yeah, it was very interesting, and the time just flew by like so fast. First it was like 9:30, then all of a sudden it was like 12:30, and the time
It's
just
like maybe like
it
2 in the
flew
morning.
by. Yeah.
So it was interesting. And before we really get into this, because we're talking about connection with other people, I want to connect with you guys that are watching as well. We have Dan McCluskey who's watching.
Hey,
He
Dan.
says, "Hola, so good to see you both." He's in Hawaii, the Big Island right now. Oh, he moved. He was
He
here in
said
San.
aloha.
Aloha. What did I say? Hola.
He's not in Mexico.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, Dan McCluskey? He said aloha because he is in
Aloha.
aloha. I just took off an A, but I rearranged the words somehow. He's in Hawaii now. He was here in San Diego.
Yeah.
Great to see you, Dan. Antonio says good morning. He
Good
says
morning.
he says please take a pic of that card and send it to me. Absolutely, because your son Junior just went off to the military just yesterday.
Yeah,
Just yesterday. So I hope that probably resonates with you a lot. Dan also
sure.
says, "Yay for your inner children, where our wonder and creativity and imagination and enthusiasm lives and prospers." And he also says, "Yay, people are so in touch with their creative love, live in creativity and positivity."
Because we are the creators.
And then also, watching and these are all on Facebook, but also our YouTube watchers. We also have Gil who's watching
Hey,
with
Gil.
us. Let's see if I
Good
can
to see all of you.
Pop Gil's coming up here for a second here. Oh, okay, so it's glitchy right now. But he says, "Hello, good morning, my friends."
Good morning.
So we're talking about having a strong spiritual connection with somebody. This is like when you it's a knowing when you just click with somebody, and it's like you don't know what it is, why you get along with certain people so well, why you don't get along with other people. And there are things to that, things that we've experienced. That's been part of our story as well. And you
Yeah.
mentioned that when we first met.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like when Aaron and I first met, I felt a strong connection to him before we even met. So I thought that was kind of weird because I'm like, why am I thinking about this guy who I don't even know? I've never met him, and I'm thinking about him. And I thought it was interesting. And then later on, I had a dream about him, and then it just, I don't know. And then the first day we met, we were talking. Well, Aaron did most of the talking,
I talked for like over 2 hours.
and
I didn't let her get a word in.
so I think he was nervous, but it was just we clicked and things, it just went smoothly. And but it's interesting how people have that connection to certain people, and everything just flows. But in reality, we're all connected, and sometimes you feel a disconnection with people, but that's when it's contrast in energy. So it's like you're gonna feel maybe angry towards someone and you don't even know why. So there's all kinds of different factors, but we were talking about this, and when you feel, let's say, the negative emotions towards someone, that could still be a strong spiritual connection, because maybe there's a past life that you guys shared together, and in this life you're meant to kind of work through that karma, whatever it is. So it's actually the people who give us the most problems in our life are the ones that that help us, because they help us to grow as people, as spiritual beings, and help us push through these things that we go through. And it's like, how can you have compassion towards someone who's done you wrong? How can you feel loving towards someone who's done stuff to you? But it's all that, and that's what really helps us grow spiritually.
Absolutely. And to explain that a little bit more as well is, when you're really studying into this work and understanding these ideas and concepts, and it's something we've been working with for quite some time now, over the last few years, maybe 4, 5, 6 years, and it all comes down to what we call vibration, energy, where if you think about it, when we are broadcasting this to you right now, this is broadcasting it to you on a frequency. The pictures of us to be able to be right there with you right now, the voice coming through the microphone, that's all in frequencies. And you guys pick that up. But we're right there with you in that moment. So that's a vibration. And just like the radio signals, the TV signals, it's all around us. We just need something to pick it up to be able to receive that. And so we're all working with vibration. Our whole entire energetic being is a vibration. The atoms, the cells are all vibrating, they're all moving. And our thoughts, our what we feel, our emotions is all emitting energy. And so on a vibrational level, on a frequency, we match with certain people. Everybody's, there's so many different frequencies. But when there's people that are close to us or people that we just always are seem to be around the same type of person, is because at some level we are matching this a similar frequency as they are. Even if you might seem like you're two completely different people, at some level you vibrate at the same frequency with them, maybe similar thoughts, maybe similar feelings, and it's really your feelings that are amplifying that. And so it all comes down to a vibrational level. And somehow that vibration, by law of attraction, you will attract people to you that match more of you.
And that's why when talking to people like Antonio and his family, like we were all in sync and everything just flowed. So it's like the vibration was similar and it was like a good feeling when you meet someone and you just click and you're talking and everything just flows and that's like being along the same vibration and it's just good to to be around people that make you feel good and stuff like that. So that's just it's something to be aware of and even be aware of the people who don't make you feel so good. But that it's sometimes there's also using your intuition because like say you're out somewhere in public and you just don't get a good vibe from someone and it's like okay, well maybe we should go somewhere else. And a lot of times that's a good thing. And sometimes you might be picking up on what they're going through. Like maybe they're going through a rough time and you're picking up on that and it feels uncomfortable. Because like when you see someone crying, a lot of people think, oh, like, something's happening or like it's a bad thing, but a lot of times it's not a bad thing. But people associate crying to something bad, but it's like I cry all the time and
So do I.
and it's good.
And it's good. But think about it when babies, you put a bunch of babies together and one baby starts crying, a lot of the other babies start to cry too because they're picking up on the energy. It's almost like that empathy. It's like the connection is there. But I think also when someone's laughing and they're hysterically laughing, it makes you laugh. It makes you smile. So there really is a connection based on our energy, our emotions, the way we feel. If someone feels really good, they have a lot of great energy. They're feeling loving and compassionate. You just love being around that person. It's a good frequency. It's a good vibration. Like good vibes that person is giving. That's where that term comes from. But when there's someone that's not vibrating very well, maybe that you're just having a bad day, you're feeling upset or sad about something, people will pick up on that too. And sometimes those are moments where you just need your little alone time. And then when you're feeling better vibrations, you can kind of put yourself back out into the world. Because I don't like to, if I'm feeling down, I don't really like to put that around everybody because I know that they can pick up and feel that. So when I'm feeling good, that's when I'll come out. But sometimes we do need to ask for help to get us through that. But that's how we are all connected on an energetic, spiritual level. Is in a spiritual perspective, is it's all love. We're all the same. We're all a spirit experiencing a physical experience here, and it's a good, at least for me. That's the way I like to look at it because it helps me to move past all the challenges and work towards something even greater.
So Dan McCluskey has some comments here. He says, that's why I love you both. You are both always into the solution growth. How you can be better, more excellent, have more fun. Yes, have more fun and not get dragged down by the details and trying to be perfect. That hurt me for years. He also says, now I'm into progress and fun and I can walk away from the perfectionists and not try to fix them. I understand their expectations are not realistic. You don't have to be perfection to be happy. And that's absolutely right. And he says, and then Debbie says, "Oh, it was so nice meeting and talking to you both." As Debbie Buelna, thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. It's nice meeting you too, Debbie.
Dan also says it's okay to be happy and joyous with icing and flour and sugar on the floor, right? We always
There's
have flour and sugar on
always
the
sugar
floor.
and icing on the floor doing cakes here in the kitchen.
Or we can laugh when we make mistakes. You both practice this so much.
And it's not always easy.
It's
You know,
not.
we can always put on a smiley face. I mean, we're feeling really, really good today. In fact, that was a choice.
Yesterday
And
too.
huh?
Yesterday too.
And yesterday
And the
too,
day before.
and the day before that. But there has been days when I haven't felt so good. But it's been more good days than there has bad because just how that feels. And when you're not feeling in a very good vibration, you're feeling down. Maybe something you're going through some challenges in your life. It's hard to connect with people on that level. And sometimes you can repel people when you do that. In fact, when I'm in a bad mood, like Veronica doesn't want to really be next to me. And it's not like I'm being any like mean
He
to her or
doesn't have
anything.
to say
If I'm
anything.
just like feeling sad about something, like she can pick that up. Like she can't sleep because she can feel it. And I know that, so I always try to at least keep my distance. But when I feel good, it's like you just know and you can feel it. And I rather feel good because it feels better. When you're not feeling so good, that can bring your health down. That can create so many issues that shows up. But we're talking about how we're connected with other people on this level. But that's how it all works. It's all about vibration and energy.
And also when Aaron's not feeling good, and I know it, so I'll tell him when you're ready to work on it, let's clear this, and we do, and usually feels better after.
And you mentioned something earlier too, which will be our next point is, well, why are we so connected with other people? You mentioned past lives. And it's interesting because we were at the temple service that we go to here in San Diego. The minister was actually talking about past lives this just yesterday. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting how this topic correlates.
Yeah, so it's like I know I've had several past lives, and I believe that all of us have, and some people don't believe in that, but that's okay. But it's interesting how sometimes we carry the same similar energy from the past lives into this one, and like for us, we've worked through some things in the past, and it's interesting how it shows up in this life, even though it was a complete different life, but it's like the energy behind it was still there, and we've had to clear some things from the past. Like there's been so much that we've worked on. I can't even think of
And
it.
there's always more.
Yeah, there's always more.
And on that line, if you've ever done things like past life regressions, and I mean, it really, at least from our experience, it's really been a real thing because it's you may not remember everything because there's too much. You don't want to remember all of that, and that's what the minister was
It'll
talking
be
about. It's like
confusing.
you don't want to have to come here and remember every single life, every tragedy, every experience because it's too much to handle. So you're here to focus on what you're doing here in this world in this lifetime, and so but sometimes we can feel that something in this
Yeah.
lifetime will trigger something because it resembles and it's like it comes up and that's something that we need to work through. It's important. It's good for us to work through so we can let that go.
So my daughter, she likes a lot of like old stuff from the 50s, like vintage stuff. And when she was like 4 years old, I was working on a Marilyn Monroe cake, and I was just getting some images, and then she comes around and she's looking at the pictures, and she looks at me and she's like, "Mom, that lady's dead." And I've never ever talked to her about it, or she's never seen anything on TV regarding her. I'm like, "How do you know?" And she's like, "She told me." I'm like, "How did she tell you?" She's like, "She used to be my friend and this and that." And I'm like, "Really?" And then she's like, "Yeah." She's like, someone sent someone to kill her." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then
And she's 4, right?
yeah, she's 4 years old, and she's like, she was married and she would sneak around, and she was sneaking around or something. And then, but like a 4-year-old, she's not, she might or may not comprehend some of the things, but she's like, yeah, she was married and she would sneak out or sneak around, something like that. And then she's like, and then someone sent someone to kill her. I'm like, oh, interesting, okay. And she was so confident in what she was telling me, and I didn't really know a lot of her history or whether even she was married or not. And yeah, she was, and I just thought it was interesting that she told me that they were friends and stuff like that, and she knew all this information. And So it's interesting how even in this life she likes vintage stuff. She likes like old, like the houses, Victorian houses and things like that. So it's like a piece of that is carried over.
And people will tell her she's an old soul. We've got that from because we've experienced so many different lives, and
Yeah,
it's like we maybe not remember, but there's something about like why we're so attracted to
to certain
certain things,
things.
certain styles, people. Again, we're talking about connections with others, and that's how how we get connected. We are somehow connected in different all these different lives. We play different roles. It's a concept of I was thinking about this in the service yesterday with Halloween. And Halloween is a moment where kids or anybody gets the opportunity to dress up. Yes, I'm stuttering. We get the opportunity to play a part. We get to dress up in costumes and be either a character or something that we feel that would be fun. Well, it's the same concept here in these lives. Is each life we get an opportunity to I'm going to play this character this time, and that's how I'm going to play that. And then okay, that life's over, and the next Halloween comes. Let's do something different instead of playing the same role every single time. So I like to look at it that way, and there I'll know more once I transition from this world to get the full details. But at least that's the way I like to look at it, and it makes sense to me. And but we're all connected. We've been with each other in some way, whether even it's just for a moment in different lives, and that's how the energy will bring us and attract us together once again.
Yeah, and also if you've ever had people that just open up to you and they tell you everything, like they just feel so comfortable with you that they start talking to you about their problems, about their personal life, and it's just interesting. Like you barely met the person, and I've had that like all my life pretty much because when I was younger, people would call me, "Hey, this is going on," and they would just talk to me and I'd listen, and maybe that's why they would talk to me as well because I would listen and they would just tell me stuff and even as I got older, people the same thing. Like I'd meet a stranger and they'd tell me their whole life story. It's like wow, I'm like that is just interesting how that happens and that they feel so comfortable to be able to tell a stranger everything.
Yeah, and that's one of the signs. And we're talking about well, how would you know? How do you know when you have a very strong spiritual connection with somebody? And unless you're really paying attention, you're really in tune, you may not always know, but there are different signs when you're thinking about it as we're talking about it today. Pay attention. Have you noticed this before? Because we've all experienced it in some way, shape, or form. And so you just mentioned to it is when you're talking to somebody and maybe somebody you met for the very first time and you just the conversation just flows. You feel like you've known them for such a long time. Like it feels so good just to talk to the person. It's almost like hey, you haven't spoken in like thousands of years, and you're reconnecting again, and you're catching up with an
Yeah.
old friend. That's what it can feel like, even if you've never met the person before.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So I know some of you have had those experiences where, people just tell you everything and it's also to be able to receive that information. It's like for me it's like wow, like I'm glad that they feel comfortable enough to tell me, to tell me their their personal life and things like that.
Yeah, when we work with our clients and when we talk with friends, we help people on an emotional level when they're wanting to change something in their life. Maybe they're struggling with something. They want to see something different, something better for them. We help them find out where they might be stuck, where they might be blocked. Maybe some issues that need to be healed. We help people to really unlock a lot of emotional stuff they've been holding on to for a long time that is still bringing to them certain situations or people into their life that maybe to them feels unpleasant. And so when people talk to us and they just tend to open up, they feel comfortable, they feel safe. And we've had people tell us many times, like, I've never told anybody this before, but I feel like I can tell you this. And that's another sign is when people feel comfortable opening up and sharing some secrets that they're not comfortable sharing with other people. That's also another sign of a really strong spiritual connection with someone.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And Dan McCluskey, he says, for me, being a mystic, I have to spend a lot of time in spirit, which is really my best friend. And as Marianne Williamson says in her book, Return to Love, I have to return to love within me, where my infinite source of life and love exists right here inside me. Amazing. It's always here when I get still and quiet. Then the healing or idea or solution comes. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. when you quiet the mind and you just take that time to be in that space, like you get the solutions, or you get the answers to whatever your question you have.
I like what he also says here. He says, and then I bounce off other mystics like you both, and I find, yes, we remind each other that we are on the spiritual path now, and like returning again and again to within self-realization after self-realization, reminding ourselves, whoops, I got into my head again, huh? Need to get back to spirit and flow and ease and grace like children, and trust. Trust is huge for me, he says.
Yeah.
And that is, and it's really, we're here to remember who we truly are, what we're capable of. Like whatever you're doing right now in your life, like you're capable of doing so much more. We just don't remember that. We don't understand that. We get bogged down by our society and conditioning and programming. Like, what are people going to think of the criticism? You can't do that. How people tell us things that, oh, you can't do that, or maybe you're not good enough. Here's what society says you should do in your career. And there's a lot of confusion. And when you realize like what you're truly capable of, it's like all that just tension, that stress just gets lifted. And that's what's been a big blessing for us. And we're still learning.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend the other day, and it's like he enjoys doing crazy stuff, like pretty much like riding his bike and like sometimes dodging cars. I know it's crazy, but he's like a thrill seeker, and you know him, action, and he's like that's what he loves though. Like he loves like that adrenaline rush, and he was riding his bike the other day on this two-way road, and he set up his camera, and there's this wall where they plastered it like to, so the dirt won't fall. So when he found the right moment, he could see the cars coming both ways, and he set up his camera, and he rides and goes up the wall and back around, and then a little bit after that you see cars passing by. But that's just what he likes to do. But it's a little on the wild side, but that's like his thrill. And I think his mom was telling him like, oh, you should stop doing stuff like that, because he's been hurt several times, but that's that's what he loves.
Yeah. And like, are you doing things that you love? Maybe, and like someone like that probably really good at being like a stuntman.
A stuntman, yeah.
If
probably
they
should
just
get into that.
But we were watching even documentaries on people that climb like Mount Everest, and you see all the tragedy, people like dying, and like you're thinking like, why would anybody do that? But to them, it's their life. Mm-hmm. Like they can't stay away. It's what helps to enliven their spirit, and a lot of people can't connect and understand that. But that's okay. People may not. They don't have to understand you and your vision and your dreams, what you would love to do, as long as you are doing what you love. And that's the biggest thing. But again, and it's how this all comes back to connection, how people are connected, and they don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to, they don't want anything bad happening to you, but there's something in your spirit that's calling, I want to do more. And so, but the people are brought to you to help strengthen you, to help teach you. And even if we talked about the people that give you the most challenges in your life, the people say like, I don't want anything to do with that person. Every time I'm around that person, I get repelled by them. And there's the opposite vibrations, as we talked about earlier. But those are the people that are here to teach you. Mm-hmm. And when I grasped that concept, I started to appreciate anybody that has been what I consider to be difficult, is because it's helped me to grow. But rather than looking at them, I brought it back on me as like, how can I feel better? How can I not get so affected by this person? Mm-hmm. And I've grown so much more out of that.
Yeah. And I've had experiences where I had to work with someone, and I think I've shared this before, but for those of you who don't know the story, there was a lady that was, in the same building that we worked, like she was in the same department, and I walked by her and I smiled, and then she just gave me like a dirty look and kind of looked away, like, oh, okay. And then later on, I was going to have to work with her, just me and her together. So I'm like, well, how can I make the best of this? So then I started talking to her and just kind of getting to know her, where she's at and stuff like that. And she realized that I'm not who someone else told her I was. So other people, there was someone else that was telling her stuff about me and all this stuff. And she's like, well, and later on she told me, she's like, oh, when I first met you, I didn't like you. And I thought, all this stuff because someone else was telling me stuff about you. But then I realized that you're not like that. And later on, I would take her out and, just have her open up and have fun because it seemed like she wasn't having that much fun. And after that, she was a complete different person and like laughing all the time and having fun even at work. And it reminds me of the connection with Antonio and his coworkers. It's like they're doing this job, and sometimes it is stressful, but they have fun with it, and they've bonded so much, and they're like family. So it's like they feel that strong connection, between them, and they're able to make work fun, even when the job itself might not be that fun. But it's like you make the best of it of where you are now, and that's what life is about. Is like just enjoy this life here and enjoy what you're doing, whether it's something that like a job that you may or may not like it as much, or maybe there's not so much fun that that most people would say that comes with the job, but it's like you make the best of it. And that's how when the time comes, it's like, oh, I want to go to work today, like let's go have some fun.
And for us doing this, it's fun. It's fun for us. And I've noticed that when we've taken like long breaks from doing these live broadcasts, I realize like how much I miss doing it. There's times when you might feel like you get burnt out. Maybe you just need a little break with something. And I think when we took some time off, I started to really realize like my spirit really loves sharing information. Whether we get paid for it or not, we love doing this. And that's just, and we love in connecting with you guys because, again, whoever's watching right now, in some way, we are all connected because something attracted you here. Whether you're watching now, it's we're in 2022. It's in March. And maybe you're watching this a year from now. It's like something has drawn you to this information. Maybe it's to the point where you're searching, you're looking for answers for something right now, how to improve your life. And we've done things to help improve our life, and we want to share that with you. Maybe it can help you in yours. And so, and the last few comments before we get out today, Dan says, I love what you said, Aaron. It's like I get that smile on my face when I touch that power, that infinite inner knowing. I can do this, and yet now I'm learning to keep it secret, except with those who touch that infinite power within and say, let me scroll down here a little more, say, yes, you can, because some are toxic and just don't understand that secret within. We can do anything in our hearts and dreams. Even if we don't, he's writing a lot more. Where am I at?
We don't quite know how we're going to get there. Yeah.
I was reading and then the whole feed just scrolled up and I lost my spot because he's writing a lot more. But yeah, it's, when you feel connected with someone, you feel like you want to share your ideas and your dreams. And you want to be very mindful who you share that with because, again, that vision that you have is very fragile. It's in the infinite, it's in the ethers around you.
And Dan's vision was to go to Hawaii, and he's like, look at me in Hawaii now. For me, it's trusting and taking a little risk and another little risk. Haha, just keep swimming and don't be afraid to ask for help and encouragement. Yeah. That's great because Dan had a dream to go to Hawaii and to live there, and that's exactly what he's doing now. Before the show, he was a while back in a different show that we did, he was unsure of what to do and stuff like that. But it's like, we said, just trust in the process and, things will happen and align for you to get there. And he ended up getting a new bike and he's a triathlon, like Ironman type of thing. And he does bike riding and he's gone a long way and he's there doing it.
And Hawaii's a perfect place for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we want to just congratulate you, Dan, because we see how you're growing, doing the things that you love, and you just keep on doing that. And for all those of you who, you have a big vision, you have a big dream, is you keep going towards that. And if you need people to encourage you, need some inspiration, join with us. We would love to share that with you and help you kind of just keep going through that. And that's what the show's all about, is to help you push that, help break through the blocks that we have that stop us from moving forward in our life. And we're always growing. We're always learning. We're spirit. We're here to learn lessons. And that's why we are all connected with each other on some level, because we're here to teach each other. And we're talking about, why we have that strong connection with people here today. on the show.
So thank you, Antonio, for that topic. It's been a great show, and I like talking about this. This is it's awesome because all of us are connected. We all come from that same energy, that same light. So share your light and have fun. Let's all have fun.
And then speaking of sharing your light, if you've enjoyed this episode here today, you guys can share the show. Whether you're watching we're here on Facebook and on YouTube, you can share the show. Make sure you also subscribe to our channels for any future videos that we have. We are live every Mondays at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
And Robert Brooker says, greetings, Aaron and Veronica. That was a great topic that caught my eye. Well, thank you for joining us, Robert. It's been a while. Yeah, so like Aaron said, we go live on Mondays, 9 a.m. Pacific. And click the links below to find us on Facebook, YouTube, and click the bell icon and get the live notifications. And I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. We went a little longer today because it was a great topic. And thank you guys. So for you guys that are watching right now, if there is a topic of interest when it comes to manifesting, energy, connection, moving toward your dreams, anything emotional wise, maybe challenges you're going through in your life right now, if you want answers with, we love to hear from you because it helps us to create shows like that as well. So put your questions here into the feed. If you want to do it privately, you can send us a private message as well and let us know, and we'll do a show about that because it helps us to help you guys if there's something that's really on your mind and you need answers with. So, and we love to share that with you.
Yeah, so it's about sharing and connecting. So thank you guys for joining us today.
All right, guys. And so join us next Monday, and we will see you then.
Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.